Chapter 3. A typical phone call with my mother. As time passed, my phone calls with mother became more frequent. Initially, we would talk once a month, but after a short while, we would be on the phone every other week. Sometimes we spoke again after only a few days. Mother was a regular thought in my mind, so I was often thinking about what I could do for her, be it talking on the phone, mailing her a package, or researching living facilities. Whenever we would talk on the phone and I would ask her if she needed anything, she always let me know what she needed. Whenever I sent her things, she was always happy to receive them. In fact, she would remind me of holidays that were coming up, which I liked. The first time I called her after we got home from reuniting with her, she told me, "You know, Mother's Day is coming up on the 13th of May. In a later phone conversation, she reminded me of her birthday and Christmas. Almost a year later, when Valentine's Day was 2 weeks away, she said to me, "You know, Valentine's Day is coming up." When I told her that I sent her a Valentine's Day gift, she told me, "I love surprises." Her reminders let me know what occasions were important to her, so I made sure to send her gifts for each one of them. When she would remind me of those special dates, I felt happy that she was comfortable doing so. It filled my heart with joy. I liked that she was able to open up with me and communicate exactly what was important to her. I also felt honored that she was willing to accept gifts from me. Overall, I felt pleased that she was mentally able to express herself in this way because this meant I did not have to go through the trouble of inquiring about what she wants and needs to the boarding home workers. It was my great pleasure to provide anything she desired. Most of the time, our conversations were just random chatting. Whenever I would call and speak to her, the ritual would go like this. "May I speak to Geneva?" The boarding home worker would reply, "Just a moment. Geneva, your daughter is on the phone. Somebody go tell Geneva her daughter is on the phone." Then usually 2 to 4 minutes later, a now familiar voice would inquire on the other side of the phone, "Hello?" A huge smile would break up on my face before regaining my composure enough to say, "Hello, Mother. How are you doing?" "Oh, so. My hip has been hurting." Quite often she would ask questions like, "What have you been doing?" Or, "Did you do anything fun today?" That would be the only urge I would need to tell her all about my day and my writing. Each time, the topic varied because the turn of our conversation would depend on her follow-up questions like, "Did you go to church today? Do you still go to Sunday school? Have you talked to Carla?" Or, "How is Terrence doing?" When I called her on the 4th of July, she asked me if my church was doing anything special that day. I told her my church has never celebrated the 4th of July. She told me that when she was a little girl, her church always celebrated every holiday and that her church would have cookouts at the park. She often asked the same questions in our current conversation that she asked in our past conversations. I always enjoyed answering all of her questions. It seemed she was asking me those questions for a few reasons. The first, she may have appreciated me calling her and she enjoyed talking to me. The second, she could have wanted me to feel like she really wanted to talk to me, especially since a lot of the time she would prefer to be in her bed resting her hip. A third, she might have been aiming towards being kind to her daughter whom she knew loved her. Even with her mental illness, I believe she recognized that she could possibly sadden me if it appeared she did not want to be bothered with me. Remembering my responses to her questions was a sign, to me, that she enjoyed hearing them. I felt intrigued whenever she would inquire, in a later conversation, about something we discussed in a prior one. During our phone conversations, I usually asked her if she had received any package that I may have sent, and if she liked it. She usually liked everything. She would tell me about the weather in her city. She would say, "It is cold here," or "It is hot like a furnace outside." Oftentimes, she would talk about the center that she attends daily, telling me what they served for lunch, which was usually something she really liked. She would inform me about the special meals, like when the center served Thanksgiving dinner, or the boarding home had a cookout and served barbecue for the 4th of July. Sometimes when she would want to get off the phone, but wanted to avoid hurting my feelings, she pretended the boarding home workers needed to use the phone. I remember one time vividly. We were in the middle of a conversation when Mother's voice went distant from the receiver and I heard her saying, "Do you need to call that lady who called earlier?" I frowned down on my phone. "Mother, do you need to get off the phone?" "I think so. You see, a woman called earlier and I think they want to call her back." I was feeling torn between continuing our conversation and letting her go. "Do they need you to get off the phone?" "No," I heard one of the workers proclaim from the background. "Nobody needs to use the phone. She wants to get off the phone, but she is trying to blame us." Mother released an embarrassing chuckle. "Mother, they are telling on you." "Yeah," she said before letting out another quiet laugh. In that moment, I experienced a series of mixed thoughts. Should I feel sad about her trying to be sneaky about getting off the phone? Does she not want to talk to me? If she needs to go, why don't she just say so? "Mother, I can let you go. I like to call you every once in a while to see how you're doing and to let you know I am thinking about you. You don't have to stay on the phone for a long time unless you want to. Do you need to get off the phone?" Mother humbly replied, "It's okay. So, what have you been doing?" Then after a few more words back and forth, she said, "Well, I want to go lay in my bed and rest a little." I said, "Okay, it was very nice talking to you." "It was nice talking to you too." "Have a nice rest of the day," I told her. "Thank you. You too." "Okay, bye." She said, "Bye." After that call ended, memories flooded back of all of the other times when Mother did that same thing, but the workers never clearly told on her that way. She just succeeded in getting off the phone. During our talks, I learned some fun facts about her. She loves cookies and banana pudding. She loves desserts in general. She enjoys telling stories about herself when she was growing up. When she was a little girl, she really enjoyed licking the cake and cookie batter out of the bowl after her mother would fill the baking pans. Our conversations usually consisted of the same types of dialogue each time. I cannot say I blame her for preferring to be by herself rather than talking on the phone. After all, she had been to herself for many, many years with no family. So getting phone calls from her children was something new for her, something she had to get used to. I actually felt disappointed and took it personally at the first indication that she did not feel like talking when I would call, especially since I truly desired for her to open up and tell me why she left us. Also, I really needed to know her true feelings about allowing us to move her to Kansas City. Therefore, a second trip to visit Mother became more and more appealing.
If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.